Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Brothers Hunt, our weekly show where we have missed 104 104 episodes, but we're back now and we're gonna do the second part of a video we started a while ago. We ranked our top 5 favourite liveries. We're now going to do the inverse and go for our top 5 least favourites. Now, for me personally, if you look at the previous video, you know I like liveries that might be considered bad. The liveries I've picked have been the ones that are the most boring. Those are the ones that really irritate me.
So he's probably picked my top 5 best liveries.
Yeah, I'm going to be far off. What's a bad livery for you?
Just poorly designed, doesn't work when the car's moving or standing still, and it's just ugly.
Interesting. Okay then. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to let you go first.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your? We're going to go from 5 to 1, right?
Yes. Fine.
Cool. 5 to 1. What is your 5th least favourite livery?
Cue pandemonium on anyone on all the comments. The Brawn GP 001, because it is dull. It's not a very good livery. It's not very imaginative. It lacks any nice colours, and it's just, admittedly, you've got to do it on the fly. So needs must, but it's just a bit rubbish.
It's somewhat saved by the fact that yellow was kind of unique to Brawn. That saves it slightly. I'm surprised it's not on my list because that is a thoroughly boring car. And there's very few sponsors too. I mean, what was it? Virgin was the main one.
Virgin
majority.
I will give it this though, it's iconic.
It's very iconic. I liked what the races started to do, what Barrichello and what are you doing? What's going on? You're just taking the chair for a walk. I liked what Barrichello and Button started doing with their helmets, that style.
Yeah.
And I do like how the pit crew looked, very clean. It's just the issue on track, it did look a bit...
You can see the joins of the engine cover to the rest of the car.
Yes,
you can see where all the nuts and bolts went, you can see the gaps, and it doesn't look good.
Which I'm sure to some people would have been nice to see.
Yep.
But for us, no.
No, not for me.
Right,
and your number 5?
My number 5, I'm keeping hiding it from you. My number 5 is the 1999 BAR. Now, this should be number 1 because it's 2 liveries with that big zip design down the middle. This should be number 1, but I kind of respect it. Because they had 2 different liveries, and they said, well, if we got to do that, we'll do both at once then. And it looked appalling. It looked
shocking.
So bad.
It is awful.
It looked so much so. I remember somebody was talking, they were at a race, and it was one of the first races they'd ever seen, and they're there in person. Going around one corner like, oh, that car seems to be doing well. And then they looked away for a second, looked back and like, wow, where did that guy come from? The fact, like, not only did they really screw up and put 2 in 1, so I was like, oh, I'll put a zip on it.
Yeah, we'll make it really obvious what we're doing.
Oh yeah, and it was kind of a poor performing car, wasn't it?
Oh, but it scored no points,
yeah.
Despite all the hype from Jack Villeneuve and crazy. Well, that's the one. Villeneuve's manager, I seem to recall. Yeah, that hype didn't go well.
Was this before or after the record deal?
Probably around the same time.
Right, number 4.
Number 4, it is the Williams FW42. Oh. It is the toothpaste car from 2019.
Are we talking about the like
2019?
2019?
Yeah, the computer one.
Oh, that one, sorry. There's this second car with Rocket where it looked quite nice and then they didn't use it. Yeah, toothpaste, Aquafresh Mobile, yeah, that was shocking.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
It had the weird PowerPoint gradient thing, which I used when I was in year 4.
Yeah, it doesn't look quick, it doesn't look nice, the colours don't work well together in the way they've done it. It's just... Yeah. And it looked slow on track. It looked bigger than every other car on track.
Yeah, I mean, they did a similar style thing in 2020, but they used solid lines, which looks so much more classy.
Yeah, the Mark II Williams 2020, definitely 43 looked really nice and smooth.
The Mark 1 was still really nice too.
I'm not a fan. Your number 4?
My number 4 is the first 2015 McLaren. The one that had the red bits around the top. I know that was the first year of Honda coming back. Yes, it was first year. And everyone was quite excited for a retro livery. They did the Back to the Future teaser, and then they gave us that Ron Dennis mobile.
Yes.
Now, we know Ron Dennis likes silver, and the West McLaren looked nice. Stop.
Vodafone McLaren looked nice.
Vodafone McLaren looked nice, but yeah, I'm glad they've gone on to the papaya stuff now. It's much more symbolic of where they are now. But yeah, that original 2015 McLaren was just a little bit...
Our cameraman has just gone... I couldn't help it, that was quite funny.
Yeah, the first one was particularly bad because the only bit that was really distinctive was the red line at the front.
Which stopped.
And then the rest of it was just kind of blue and black. They did replace it with a nicer looking McLaren. I thought the second one they did was good.
Black and red one.
The difference is like chrome, different red. It still wasn't great, but it's damn sight better than the first one.
Well, the problem is the 2014 car looked really nice and just pure silver. It worked quite well. Ugly as it may have been, it still looked quite nice.
Yeah, it worked on that front. Right, podium position.
Alright, it's the Shadow DN9 from 1979. It's the one with the lion on the front of it. It's just silly. It's clear. I'm assuming sponsorship or something, but it's just rubbish.
Now, okay.
Come on.
In the video, we're going to put a picture of it around here to see. But for someone who doesn't know the car off the top of his head, describe the lion.
So, let's say it's a 70s car, so it's quite odd looking anyway. Flat and bolty, blue, dark blue is the base, and then they've essentially got the face of a lion on what is essentially a massive front wing. And it's got flames coming out the back of it.
That sounds badass.
It's not though, because it doesn't look very good. They did it badly.
I've got a car, it's blue, we put a line, get some flames on it.
It wasn't done well.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Did the car, was it successful? Shadow was a renowned...
Not in 98. Well, second one was alright, but I can't actually remember.
No.
I don't think it was necessarily...
Clearly it wasn't fantastic.
It wasn't fantastic, but the delivery is the standout, which is probably an issue for it.
Fair back, I want you to look it up after this. Right, my number 3 is the 2017 Mercedes. Boring. It's silver, there's a bit of blue, it's boring.
Could you say that about Mercedes?
I could, this was my least favourite of the Mercedes. Now, I was kind of torn here. I wanted to include Red Bull because they've been particularly uninspiring over the years.
Yeah.
But I like the base design. It's a good looking car, it's just like, oh, let's keep going and going and going and going.
Yeah, but is it a bad livery? That's the thing.
I don't think it's a bad livery. In marketing for Red Bull, it's a fantastic design because everywhere you look, you've got the Red Bull logo. The Mercedes one, it was just silver. Jobs are good. Maybe a bit of blue. Just whack that on.
Patronus right there, a bit of a tea blue thing there.
I like the Mercedes that had the big blue side pods listed earlier. That was quite nice. And some Mercedes did work, but the 2017 one was just the most, in my opinion, the most uninspired and the most boring. The 2021 Mercedes I don't think is too much better, but because it's a new shaped car, it's nice to see a new. It's nice to see the same livery on the new chassis. That actually works in the favour of the current Mercedes. But yeah, it was just dull, uninspired, and it's going to be an iconic livery. It was one of the most dominating cars ever, but
very corporate.
Yeah, very cool. If I can describe it best, it's Alan Partridge's the monkey tennis.
Number 2 is the Hispania F111, which is the Hispania from 2011.
Oh,
that is
that was close.
Okay. But it's one Daniel Ricciardo who did it.
This could be you.
Yeah, and it's just bad. It was made by a guy called Daniel Simon, who he's a proper designer doing stuff in movies like Tron, and I think he did something for Oblivion. But it's just so busy, it doesn't work on any level, and it's just
It's got the thing, it's like, okay, we've got a checkered flag on the front because it's racing. Then we've got the big red because it's racing. We've got This Is You on the side, which is our main advert, and we'll just keep adding stuff to it. Yeah. It's the sort of thing that somebody decided to do a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. Yeah, and I can understand that one. And it wasn't a particularly nice looking chassis either.
Yeah, well,
we're not really including chassis of the years.
It doesn't help it.
It didn't help.
It's just too busy, too much, trying to be fancy with everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Right, my number 2, and the most oddball of all of mine, the 1997 Tyrrell.
Just white.
It's just white.
It's white with
There's a bit of blue on top of the side pods. They had those horrendous wing thingies.
X-wings.
Yeah. And it was just white. And this is saying a lot because Stewart also had a crap car. They had white and like a bit of tartan on it, but at least that's kind of iconic for him. He's Scottish, he always wore tartan.
It fitted the car better because you had massive Ford logos on it.
Yeah.
You didn't have that with the Tyrrell.
In the Tyrrell, it was just white.
It was a sponsor of Morse. I think the Morse was something, and it's just, that's the bit that stuck out, and you're going, oh.
Yeah, that thing, I was looking back, so I remember when we were playing F1 97 when we were younger, and I always picked a car that I thought looked coolest at the time. The Minardi I picked a lot and did terribly in. I never ever raced the Tyrrell. Because every time I saw it, I was like, oh, they've not finished that model yet, dude. But what about your number 1?
It's the BAR 01 from 1999.
Oh.
It's the zip. But I'm going to give a divvy out against why it's awful. Yes, you are correct, it's awful in all those ways. But it is worse in an even worse way. Because the 555 livery would have been top 5 liveries of all time. That livery got ruined.
Yeah, was that the blue and yellow one?
Yeah, the one that you found on Colin McRae's rally car.
That style.
It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But they lost it. They should have just had 2 of them and been done with it.
Keep one design, not this weird amalgamation.
And keep the one good one.
Which one was the blue for? Was the red one was for Villeneuve, wasn't it?
Yes, I think the blue one was for Zonta.
The Zonta. Love that guy. Right, fair enough.
They both did like crashing in a room.
And Steady. Oh yeah, so I'm making a bet with you.
Yeah, I've got to do this full pelt. I bet I'll do it, you do it.
So stupid. And my number one, which was an incredibly close call to yours, this was the 2010 HRT, but I upgraded it to the 2014 Sauber. Because they're both essentially the same car.
I've upgraded it to the Sauber.
The upgrade meme button. It was basically the same car, and I had the thought of, okay, the 2010 HRT was kind of bad. I liked the 2010 HRT was bad. I liked Karen on the side. I had it like where they had the names, but the rest of it was pretty appalling.
You mean Karoon?
Karoon, sorry. You had that on the side.
There's no complaining in chocolate.
Yeah, good point. And it was a pretty appalling thing. So Sauber should have known better when they basically did exactly the same thing.
But with which one? Oh yeah, it's the grey, isn't it?
It's the terrible grey which Hulkenberg was in. Everyone's like, yeah, Hulkenberg's
No, it wasn't, because it was Gutierrez and Sousa in 2014.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Because the 2013 one looked alright because they had red flashes in the right places.
Yeah.
The 2014 one looked big, it had the cylinders and boring.
Just a little bit terrible. So, those were our top 5 liveries. Please mention yours in the comments below. I don't think there's anyone we've missed out that for like honourable mentions or anything.
No,
I think we've got a pretty good basis there.
I think, yeah, pretty got most of the
most of the appalling ones, and a car with apparently a line on the front of its face. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Cheerio.
See you later.